What's up, guys? I know this is late. It's like a day late of me recording this. 1 second. Let me plug in my headset quick because we had quite that night of SmackDown. The reason why I didn't record last night is because I just too busy. Wasn't home. Simple as that. Let's see. You're better now. So I didn't record last night because it was just a busy night. We had a busy night. We were out, but the last couple SmackDowns I have skipped. That's why I wanted to do this one. Also, it was a pretty big show. A lot of stuff happened. We got three different championship matches, and two of them changed hands. So pretty stacked night. Let's see. And the Kevin Owens CM Punk stuff continues to be the best thing on the show as they approach their title match next week in Kevin's hometown. They're having their WWE Championship match next week in Kevin's hometown of Toronto. So yeah. Let me just pull up my notes real quick, and then we can get started. I'm going to try and make this one a little quick, though, because I'm a little busy today as well. But I just didn't want to skip out on you guys again. I haven't done a lot of SmackDown interviews. Like, Raw and NXT, I do all the time. SmackDown, I've done the least amount. It's just a bad night of the week for the show. I'm just always busy Fridays. That's the only problem. But yeah, great Chelsea Green segment, too. I forgot to mention that. Anyway, let's get started. I apologize for this first match. I cannot spectate, but I don't have Matt Cardona. I don't have the ringside pass yet, so I apologize in advance. But anyway, the show starts with SmackDown GM Nick Aldis in the ring. If you guys didn't know, I actually talked about this in my Raw review this week. It was my news for the episode. Chelsea Green got injured as the Women's Champion. They haven't called her interim. I think she's the actual WWE Women's Champion now, which is nice. So Nick Aldis says, as many of us know, Chelsea Green suffered a broken orbital bone last week. After speaking in medical, he's reached a decision on what to do, and he invites Chelsea to the ring. She comes out with a big black eye. Wow. Nick Aldis says there's no easy way to say this. He knows how hard she worked and how much the title means to her. But he spoke to medical, and he can't let her, in good conscience, compete with a broken eye socket. Chelsea begs him, saying she'll do whatever it takes and it's already healing up. And Nick says he hates this part of the job, but it's his job. And he's so sorry, but he needs her to relinquish the WWE Women's Championship. No chance come out in the crowd. Chelsea says she knew this is really good, by the way. This was Chelsea's career promo. Best promo of her career right here. Ready? She says she knew it was too good to be true, and she's been waiting for the earth shoe to drop. Because every time something good and magical happens to her in this business, it's followed by something devastating. That's just her story, isn't it? Chelsea Green, the comedy relief, the perfect opponent for the other girls, never the champ, never QB1. You deserve a chance to come out. And she says, she talks about what she's sacrificed to be here. Missing weddings, funerals, and by breaking bones, leaving all of her blood, sweat, and tears in this ring. She put her face through cakes and pies, put her body in dumpsters, had the entire world laugh in her face. But every night she tells herself it's worth it because this moment would come. And now here we are. She made it, and Aldis should understand, especially after SummerSlam. He says that's not the same. She says it's exactly the same. The entire world saw him in the ring with his family, and then she went out there and proved it doesn't matter what they think, it matters what we think. Nick was a champ. His wife was a champ. Mickey James. And until someone takes this off of her, it's her. She shoves the title on his chest and says she thought he of all people would understand, and she leaves. Then, this was nice. Nick Aldis says, wait. He says, as Nick Aldis, the GM, he thinks he's doing the right thing. But as Nick Aldis, the man, he don't give a damn what medical says. Chelsea goes back in the ring, and Nick says, I changed my mind. You will not be relinquishing the belt. You are still the WWE Women's Champion. And he says, she has 30 days to get cleared, get a face mask, do whatever she has to do to defend the title, but until someone takes it from her, it's hers. Awesome. They hug, then Gunther comes out. Gunther gets on the mic and calls Chelsea a never sob story and says he wants to put attention on important things here. He says he knows Hunter has Nick on a short leash and asks why he pulled that stunt on him at SummerSlam. Aldis says, now isn't the time to place. He'll be happy to discuss this in his office later, like men. And Gunther mocks Chelsea, saying she climbed a ladder and bumped into a door frame while he did double duty both nights at SummerSlam and made a man tap out from his family. He asks Nick why he had Kevin Owens to the match. Nick says he didn't do it that way. He had Gunther to Kevin's match. They've been negotiating KO's return for months. It was Gunther who was the last minute addition, and he didn't do the job, did he? Chelsea laughs. Gunther tells her to shut up. He tells him She tells him to go puff his chest out at a woman and have his temper tantrum and stroke that fragile little male ego. That's all you have after SummerSlam, isn't it? Showing she's one champion in this ring, herself. Then Matt Cardona comes out and slides in the ring to get in between Chelsea and Gunther. For those who don't know, Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green are married in real life. That's the context behind this. Gunther mocks Cardona for coming from catering to the rescue. There's nothing he can do to him anyway. He can call his girl every slur in the world right now, and there's nothing Cardona will do. Chelsea asks Matt to back down, and Gunther calls him a dog listening to his master. And that's enough for Cardona to break free and attack Gunther. Really fun brawl. And after the commercial break, we get the match. Official. And it starts right now. Matt Cardona versus Gunther. Pretty fun. Chelsea Green ringside for Cardona. Fun match, and just Gunther wins by submission, which I'm mixed on that finish, honestly. Yes, Gunther needs to win more. Matt Cardona also needs a win. I saw his record the other day in Cage match. He's 1-11 this year since his return to the company. He's 1-11. His only win was his return match to the company against Kit Wilson. Ever since then, it's been losses, which is crazy. Post-match, Nia Jax, Last Legend, Irresistible Forces, they come to the stage. Nia gets on the mic, great, and says not even a week into her title reign, Chelsea's hurt. Pathetic. Now she's got a ticking clock, and she wants to be the fighting champ while it's time. Nia said she got screwed out of SummerSlam, and you know what? She wants the Women's Championship. Nia said she doesn't get what she wants. She gets history of breaking faces around here. Then Women's U.S. Champion, Chelsea's best friend, Tiffany Stratton, comes out. She attacks them, but the numbers game wins, and Nia and Lash beat her up. And then they leave. That was it. Then Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are hugging backstage. Charlotte thanks Alexa for helping her out last week. Alexa says, give Tatum Paxley credit, and thanks Charlotte for being okay with her. Charlotte says it was a one-time thing, but Alexa says she better be okay going forward because Tatum reminds her of her, and Charlotte loves her. Charlotte better be nice about the gift Tatum has for them, and they open the door, and Tatum has a shrine full of candles and pictures of Charlotte. And that was that. Then we go backstage. Cody Rhodes meets with Nick Aldis and asks to get the match on paper now. Nick says he hasn't seen Randy Orton, but Saturday Night's Main Event's coming up. How about having the match then? And Cody says whatever. Whatever's fine for him. Just get it done. Sami Zayn comes in. He says Cody all Cody has to do is ask, and mountains are moved. But if he wants his rematch, he has to earn it on no one return match, which becomes a three-way then a four-way, which he's lost and wrestled with a broken hand. Cody says Sami used to be able to come up to him. Maybe it's because of his relationship. He doesn't have to put up this for anybody anymore. So Sami, with your carpal tunnel, whatever that means, let's do something. Basically, they set up a match for tonight. And that's pretty much. And the stipulation is if Sami wrestles Cody tonight and beats him, he'll get a title match against the winner of CM Punk and Kevin Owens. And that was that. Now we go to the next match, which is our first title match of 3 tonight. All right. Okay, this is the United States Champion Baron Corbin defends the belt against Carmelo Hayes. I believe it's Melo's hometown too, if I remember correctly. This is, as of yesterday, I'm recording today later, the night of SmackDown. This was Corbin's 12th day as the UFC champ, and this was his second defense. And he retained a pretty fun match, and he was actually the only champion tonight that retains. It was pretty fun. Post-match, Trick Williams comes out and distracts Corbin, so Lil Yachty can attack him behind the Trick Stick. I guess that's what they're calling the kendo stick now. He sends Corbin packing. So they're setting up a Trick rematch against Corbin again, I guess, which I don't understand. Trick lost to him twice. I don't know how he's going to earn this shot, but okay. Imagining it to Lil Yachty. That'd be terrible. Then Chelsea Green's in the back checking on Tiffany, and Tiffany says she's fine for her match later. And Chelsea's like, are you sure? And Tiffany's like, yes, I am. Now we go to our next promo in ring. This is the CM Punk Kevin Owens thing of the show. Okay, so back in commercial, Kevin Owens enters. Before you can say anything, though, then Punk immediately enters after. The WWE Champion, CM Punk. So, for those who don't know, CM Punk is defending the WWE Championship against Kevin Owens to earn the title shot at SummerSlam. Their title match is actually not happening on pay-per-view or a Saturday Night event. It's happening next week on SmackDown in Kevin Owens' hometown, Toronto. So next week's also a big show. It's a big title match next week. So I'm going to try to be able to record for that one, but that's a big one. Punk says he knows Kevin is a lot of things, but one of them is not a coward. So you figure whatever he had to say tonight, he should say to his face. But Punk doesn't give him a chance to start. He does the great to be alive Friday night thing. Then Punk asks what he's waiting for, and Kevin finally starts. Kevin Owens talks. He says, it's funny. Punk's talking about saying things to faces when last week Punk was on the stage of his back turn when he called him a fat slob. Punk asks if he really thinks he wouldn't say that to his face, and Kevin says people don't realize their story actually started 20 years ago. So this is the story. This is the story that I've heard. This is the Ring of Honor 2005 story. Before I continue the promo, let me give you guys a quick recap. Apparently, the story is in 2005. Kevin Owens and Punk were in Ring of Honor at the same time, but Punk was like a veteran at that point. Kevin was very new. He was a newbie on the roster. Kevin loves wearing T-shirts when he wrestles. They want him to wear a sling. What was it called? I'm sorry, I can't remember, guys. But he wanted to wear something that wasn't the company wanted to wear something that wasn't a T-shirt. He wanted to wear a T-shirt. Punk was like, Kevin, you're a wrestler. Don't wear a T-shirt. And he was making a big deal about it. So Kevin wore one, wrestled, and it was a terrible match. He himself said it was a terrible match, not me. Then Kevin goes in the back and says to Punk, "Are you happy now?" in a joking, sarcastic way. Punk didn't like that and shoot him out and pretty much embarrassed him in front of the locker room. And Kevin couldn't do anything because he was new and he wanted to get fired. And he hasn't forgotten that since. Then the story goes about the whole CM Punk leaving AEW thing. He had to fight the Young Bucks, who are very good friends of Kevin in real life. That also didn't help. And Kevin and Sami Zayn think Punk's responsible for their careers in Ring of Honor not being so great in the first run. That's the story I know. So they actually reference it here in the promo, though. Kevin Owens references it because Kevin says, Kevin says 20 years ago, they wrestled for the same independent promotion, Ring of Honor, and CM Punk was a big tough guy, and KO was just trying to make a name for himself. And on that night, in all the ways he could have done, Punk chose to berate him and scream at him in a locker room full of his peers. Punk asks if that's what he's been holding on for 20 years, and Kevin says that's not all of it. It's also the person he's been, the things he said, the way he's treated good friends of his. Punk asks him to be more specific, and Kevin says he might think he's only talking about 3 of them, but also all of his friends hate him. Punk's the Young Bucks, and Kevin, clearly, not Sami, clearly who he's talking about. Punk says being hated by losers is the price he pays to not being a loser himself. And KO says that's part of why he despises him. He sees a locker room full of people who look up to him. He's made his amends, everything's okay. There's only one guy left who doesn't like him, that's Kevin. He'll never like him. Everything Punk does is performative, he's a phony, and the only reason he came back and made everything right is because he had no choice, because the kind of person he is led him to screw things up everywhere else he went, and he doesn't respect people like Punk. But in the meantime, he's won championships, and unlike Punk's dream, Kevin got the main event WrestleMania against Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was nice. CM Punk congratulated him and said he was happy for him then, and he's happy for him now. Does he really believe he would have been afforded those opportunities if Punk was still here? Kevin Owens tells him to stand here and say why he thinks he wouldn't have gotten those opportunities, but what it is. He's a fat indie slob, a fan on the other side of the guardrail, right? Just say it. Punk asks if he thinks that's what he thinks, or is that what he thinks about himself. But he's here, he's champ. He's got a locker room full of guys who want to be world champion. He calls out Obafemi. He looks at Kevin Owens and sees a lot of things. If he wants to listen to him, disparage him, it would make light of all the great things he achieved in his career. He looks at Kevin and he's a tough guy, a guy who can speak 2 languages, and that makes him smarter than him. But he sees a guy who avoids the work, and that makes him stupid. He sees wasted potential. He's a tough guy, but he's a bum. KO avoids the hard work, says Punk is a shapeshifter when the word he should use is evolved. Punk adapts. He overcomes. He tries to be 1% better every day, and maybe if he did have that, Kevin would have avoided the Bill Goldberg spear that ended his last title reign 10 years ago in 2016 with the Universal Championship. Kevin says he spent his whole career trying to not be like Punk, and when he looks at Punk, he sees a guy who goes home and hates himself, but he's the same person Punk screamed at 20 years ago. That fat indie loser is in the same ring as him, and he's facing him for the WWE Championship next week, and being like him wouldn't help, because after all, Punk couldn't avoid that Roman Reigns spear at WrestleMania. Punk says he looks at KO and sees himself 20 years ago. Stubborn, loud, always thinks he's the smartest guy in the ring. But he still sees the same guy he saw 20 years ago. Kevin asks if that bothers him, that he never cared what he thought, never sought his advice or guidance. He's regretted for 20 years not punching him in the mouth in that locker room. Punk tells him there's nothing between them but air and opportunity, and offers his jaw up. Kevin says he didn't do it then because he knew Punk would have ruined his career, and that would have been it. And he's not doing it now because next week in Toronto, he doesn't just get to punch him in the face. He gets to beat his bitch ass for the WWE title after he does it. Punk tells him 20 years ago he was a greenhorn who thought he could speak disrespectfully. He's been crying about the consequences for 20 years. He wants to wait a week. That's fine of him. He never looked up to him. That's also fine because he's gonna next week after Punk chokes him out. Wow, this promo was better than last week's, which was also really good. I'm enjoying the hell out of this. This is great. Every time there's real life beef of two people, it's always the best promos. And then we get Finn Balor shouting Nick Aldis in the back. Finn says he took the week off to get over it, but now he understands why Aldis added Gunther and Kevin to the match. Gunther comes in and complains about being forced to wrestle street clothes. He wants to sort out the SummerSlam problem. Aldis tells him he's interrupting their conversation. And Gunther asks, with who? Nick says, Finn. Gunther makes a show acting like he can't see. But oh wait, there's a shadow of Finn Balor. Finn says he's about to tell Nick he'll do whatever it takes to earn our shot. So if he has to beat Gunther for it, he'll show him who the real Finn Balor is. Good stuff. And now we go to our next match, which is the second title match of the night, which had new champions. Sorry guys, I cannot find how to make a tag team triple threat match. So we're just gonna have to roll with it. The WWE Tag Team Champions, Damian Priest and R-Truth, defend the tag titles against the MFTs, Tama Tonga and Tall Tonga with Haku at ringside, and also the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, who are the current AAA World Tag Champs as well. The MFTs won the titles. We got new champs. Damian Priest and Truth's reign was 147 days, and it ended with this defense being their 7th defense. So solid reign, pretty long too. Pretty decent amount of defenses and decently long reign. Almost 200 days and 7 defenses. Not bad, not bad. We got new champs. Damian Priest has been season going singles again, so I hope he does after this. And the Sons of Haku, they pretty much Paul Tonga pinned Truth to win the titles. R-Truth. And it seems like Haku's going to be a permanent manager for them for a little bit, which I don't mind. He's going to be like a little Yachty for them, basically. Which I think he fits. I don't mind this. And MFTs are more interesting now without Solo. I like it. And that's that. Now we go to the third title match, immediately after, which is also a title change. We'll get to that right now. Alright, so it's Women's United States Champion Tiffany Stratton defends the title against Fatal Influence's JC Jane with the rest of Fatal Influence at ringside. Fallon Henley and Lena Reed, who are the women's tag champs. So this Tiffany's reign, new champion, JC Jane won, so now Fatal Influence all have gold. Fallon and Lena are the women's tag champs, and JC's the new women's US champion. Tiffany's reign was 112 days, and her reign ended with this defense being her 4th. 112 days, 4 defenses. Not as long as Damian Priest, but also not bad either. During the match, at one point, Chelsea comes out to try to check on Tiffany, and pretty much Fatal Influence distracts. They circle Chelsea, which makes Tiffany scared, and then she loses. And that's pretty much it. Then we get Jade Cargill and her baddies, me and B-Fab in the back. They talk about how they're going to give Tatum Paxley a proper welcome to the show. And then we go to our main event, which wasn't really a match. Let's talk about it. So originally, this main event was supposed to originally be Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn, but the match never started because as Sami's entering, Randy attacks Cody from behind before Sami can even get as far as down the ramp. So Cody and Sami's match never happens. It just becomes an all-out brawl between Cody and Randy. So it's a huge brawl. Randy lays Cody out. Randy smashes Cody's face into steel steps, RKOs him. We see the ref arguing with Sami Zayn on the ramp. Randy goes in the crowd. Cody hits him with somebody's drink. Cody hits him with a trash can full of garbage. They go to the crowd. Randy brutally shoves a crew member and puts Cody up on the desk. So Nick Aldis comes down to try to stop everything, but they're helpless pretty much as Randy lays Cody on his feet on the desk and in the crevice of the steel steps. So Randy gets a chair and climbs up, and Cody kicks him low to save himself. He actually low blows him, which even more heel teases, by the way. Heel turn teases. Cody low blows him, which is what a heel would do. Cody gets a steel chair and sets it up the same way Randy had him set up, and then basically Cody steel chairs Randy stuck in between the steps. So basically he could chair toast him in the middle of the steps. And then Cody rushes back over, but we're out of time. The show just abruptly ends, which I like the way they ended that. It was very unique and different. And now it's the show. It's pretty good, really good SmackDown actually. The show's not been great, but man, really good. Really enjoyed this. And that's it. I don't have really any news this time to talk about. I'm just gonna end it here, guys. Thank you for watching and listening, and I'll be back Monday for Raw. Peace.